Hi, welcome to my review of the Eachine EX2 Mini. Now if you think this looks familiar, then it is, but I shall get into that in a moment. First of all, we'll unbox it all and see what we get. You get your controller in the bottom there. Now, I've done a review on the MJX Bugs 3 Mini, and this is exactly the same. It's the same quadcopter, except this is made by Eachine, probably under license, and it's a rebranded product. It's so similar that you can use the same controller on either model, and the batteries and so forth. You can mix and match, it doesn't make any difference, they both work the same. They've got the same internals, the same motors, everything. Right, well, like my other one, my MJX Bugs Mini, it's got 1306 motors, 2750 kV. Obviously the rest is exactly the same. 4-channel. It's got angle mode, acro. The only difference with this is I've got the FPV version. There's 3 versions. There's a standard one, which is the non-FPV version, where you get no camera. You got this version where you get the camera, and you can get a third version, which you get the camera fitted, and you get the goggles and the monitor screen. And the monitor screen just goes into the goggles, and basically you just fly around in FPV as you would do with a normal set of box goggles. However, I prefer to use my own goggles. It's a 25 milliwatt camera. There's not really much info on the camera other than it's 40 channel, and that's about it really. It doesn't show you what bands there are, and it doesn't tell you anything about whether the camera itself, what field of view it is. Now I'll get onto that in a minute about the field of view, because I'm used to flying at 120 field of view, and this is a bit different. This is see, 120 degree field of view makes things seem further away but wider. This actually makes things look like you would see things with your own eyes, i.e., the depth of perception is the same, although the band is narrower. So it's going to take a bit of getting used to. Although it does fill the whole, I've got 5-inch goggles, and it does fill the whole screen. But what it does is it narrows the view of what you're seeing. So you're only getting kind of like half the image that you would get from a 120 degree field of view. That would give you like quite a wide view. But I tested the camera, and to be honest with you, if you're going to fly around in a field and all that, I don't think it's too much of a problem. You can still see where you're going and that. I tested the latency of the camera as well, and I was expecting it to be quite bad, but it wasn't. It was really good. I did the old flag test. I've got a German flag up there, which is black, red and gold, or yellow, whichever way you look at it. And what I did was I shone the camera to my light bulb, and then quickly moved it onto the flag. Now usually if I've got a camera that has got quite bad latency, there'd be a delay and I'll get like a washed out effect for a few seconds, and then it'll kind of go into focus. Well, this didn't do it. This was actually quite quick. As for setting the channels, you have got a button inside there. Again, there's no instructions to tell you what the button does, but going on Eachine's TX series, I went on that assumption, and you know, you get your red light and your blue light and everything, and my chosen channel is B3. So what I did was I pressed the buttons enough to count the lights on the inside of the camera, and it only took me a couple of attempts. The first attempt I just got a fuzzy screen. On the second attempt I got my channel, but it was very static, and then on the third one I got it spot on. So it's not too much of a problem to work out, but it is a little bit of a pain. You do get a thick instruction manual. I mean, it's like a book, and then you get a quick set guide. Now, although the book's quite thick, there's only actually a few pages in English that you need to worry about, and same with a quick start guide. There's only a couple of pages. The rest of it, you got it in Chinese, French, German, Italian, you know, all that sort of stuff. So basically, if you got a Bugs 3 Mini, it's exactly the same. There's no difference at all. The only difference is it's got Eachine written on it and EX2 Mini. Other than that, it's exactly the same. Right. What do you get? You get your battery with it. It feels like I've done this review before. It's an Eachine battery this time, without MJX written on there, of course. It's a 7.4 volt, 850 milliamp an hour, 45C, which will give you about 10 minutes flying time, plus maybe a couple of minutes extra when it starts beeping. Again, it's got a beeper to let you know if you're out of range, if your battery's going low, and if you switch the controller off and leave the quadcopter on, you'll get a find me buzzer that starts bleeping. So that's the battery. Like I said, if you've got a MJX Bugs 3 Mini, or is it a Bugs 3 Mini, you can interchange the batteries. They're exactly the same. You get your prop tool and a little screwdriver. You get your prop guards, which are in there, which well, I never worry about. You get your charger, which is just like a clip-on thing with a USB, and you get 4 spare blades. Right, let's take this off a minute. Now you see, that's the Bugs 3 Mini, that's the Eachine EX2 Mini. Exactly the same. You can even swap the canopies over. They're exactly the same. You know, they're everything's interchangeable. I actually prefer the Bugs 3 Mini canopy because you've got more of a hole on there, so you can angle the camera. But as luck would have it, I didn't find a problem on this. I've got the little camera protector on there, just so that I don't get any dust on the lens. But although if you can see, the hole is the same as the camera. Now, believe it or not, this camera is tiltable. It works the same way as the Bugs 3 Mini with the light on now. And by the way, you can take the light out of this and put it on that. It's exactly the same plug. It's the same flight board, everything. Now I thought this was going to be an issue, this bit here, because I find that if the camera's facing forward in its normal position, I'm going to get ground. But when I start going fast, it's just going to see ground. So what I did was I tilted it to about 10 degrees. Now I know that because I've actually FPV'd this, and I've had it in 3 positions. I've had it at the top, bottom and in the middle. And I found at the top it's okay if you're flying fast, but when you want to come down to land, all you're seeing is the horizon and the sky. So I started putting it in the middle, and I found that sort of like the best of both worlds. So I did the same with this. I tilted it up about 10 degrees, and it don't look it because the hole's the same size as the camera. You think you're going to get shadowing on the when you start watching it on the FPV screen, but you actually don't. So I haven't tried it any higher than that. But what I did was I put the goggles on and tried it, just sort of holding it and angling it with my hand, and it was fine. I was getting no shadowing, and I doubt if I'd have the camera any higher than that. That seemed perfect for my flying style. So that should work in all 3 modes, you know, like high speed, low speed, and perhaps even acro. But it's the field of view that I wanna try out first to see if it's as bad as what people say it is, because a lot of people have been complaining that the field of view is quite narrow. Well, I found it to be okay, but then I haven't flown it really. I've just tried it in here, and going by my tiny whoops and all the other FPV quads I've got, it didn't seem too bad, you know. And if, like I said, if I'm in a big open field and I'm just flying around and doing a bit of freestyle or something like that, I don't really see the problem. Flying through things should be a lot easier as well, because it'll actually, you know, I'll actually see it in real time rather than in a wide screen, which makes things look a bit further away than you really are. Because when I'm flying in a field with this one, and I get to the end of the field, I like to turn before I get to the end if there's a load of trees in the way and all that. And then when I look back on it on the DVR footage, I realised that I was turning too early. I still had about 10 metres to go. So you know, it's kind of weird. But on this one, it should be more, you know, more in tune to real life. So, but we've got that to try out yet. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. But it's easily curable if you want to take the camera out and just drill a hole like I did with this one and put a TX05 camera in it and all that, because this is only 25 milliwatts. However, all it's got inside there on the flight board is a piece of wire which is acting as an aerial. It's not got a dipole antenna, it's just a wire going across the circuit board. So when you take the camera out, the camera's only got like you know, the power cord going into the flight board. There's no antenna attached to it. Which to me is telling me that it's not going to have that good range for a 25 milliwatts. You should be getting about 120, maybe 150 meters out of it, based on my experience with the cameras that I've got. But because this is hidden and it's just a wire, I'm not too sure. I've got to do some range tests this weekend and see if it's okay for that sort of thing. And I want to try the field of view as well. But basically, that's it. That's you know, back to the controller. You got your angle mode and you got your acro mode down there. Sticks feel okay. You got your lights on and off. You got your start stop safety button there for your props. Antennas are fake. There's no wires in there. You got your high and low mode. Now the camera doesn't do anything if you got your own FPV camera in there. However, according to the manual, if you've got a their own camera on it, which is what this is, then it will take photographs. Now I haven't tried that yet, but I have got the original camera in there, and by pressing this button here it will take photographs apparently. So I'm going to try that out. But I've just noticed something while I've just been talking. It's got a thumb wheel there, which the other controller hasn't got, but it doesn't seem to do anything. It's like glued in there. It's yeah, it's definitely yeah. And talking about gluing in, you got a button there, your L2, which doesn't do anything, it's just glued in there. However, your L1, that button there, is for your flips and rolls. So you've got to hold the button, and then, you know, you go across or whatever, if you want to do front flip, back flip, side flips, you know. And yeah, you got your acro. So you got acro, high and low. I don't think you can do flips so much in low. It doesn't seem to have the power, but in high mode it will do, and it's quite awkward. Yeah, so that's basically it. You know, if you go out of range and all that, this will bleep. If your batteries are low in this, you'll fly around and it'll all of a sudden it will make a bleeping noise to let you know that you're you know, that the quadcopter is flying out of range due to your battery being low. You know, so it's great, you know. The controller bleeps as well as the quadcopter. You've got a buzzer in there, so it lets you know when it's low on juice. All 4 lights will start flashing, and you know, it'll tell you to sort of come in. But I've flown it up to 8 minutes into that, and it was still okay. Battery was still alright when I charged it up. So yeah, it's just an advance warning. When you first, as you should do with any quadcopter really, when you first start taking to the air, once you switched on the controller and it's all bound up, what you want to do, you want to press both sticks down and to the right, and that will calibrate it. And believe you me, you want to do that at every flight. Even if you turn the transmitter off and then back on again, always calibrate it, because I had some issues the other day where it was drifting, and I forgot to calibrate it. But yeah, so try and get in the habit of doing that. And that's it really. That's the Eachine EX2 Mini. Very fun quadcopter. You know, same as this. It's you know, it's just a rebrand, the same model, but it's so much fun that you know, I bought 2 of them now, because they're fast, they're agile, they handle beautifully, you get a decent flight time on them, and they're just terrific fun. As I said, if you're not happy with the camera, just put your own one in there. It's very easy to do. try and get up to about 50 to 100 milliwatt camera, and then you can go to full distance, which is about 280 to 300 meters transmitting power. You can do an aerial mod. The aerial sits in the left arm. You can access it from the inside, and you can drill a hole and poke it through there and get even more range out of it. I've heard of one person's even bought an aerial booster that he's put on the back of there, and he can get something like 700 meters out of it. Personally, I wouldn't want to fly that far. 300 meters is perfect for what I want it for, you know. So yeah, so that's the Eachine EX2 Mini. Well worth getting, whether you're a professional flyer or you just want to have a bit of fun, line of sight, whatever. Great little things, brilliant, love them. You got to love them. They're fantastic little, well, nigh on hobby grade quads. I mean, I flew this in acro the other day, and I hit the ground so hard that the battery came out, and there's not a scratch on it. I mean, it was so bad that when this landed upside down, the motors were churning up all the grass and that, and it was so gummed up in there that the motor wouldn't spin anymore. And when that happens, because unfortunately when you want to come down to land and switch everything off, you've got to hold the button for a few seconds, and it kills the motors. And you know, vice versa, if you want to take off, you just press it quickly and it will go into idle. It goes into a faster idle if you're in acro. But yeah, you got to remember to do that. If you crash, you know, holding the throttle down won't turn the motors off. You've got to actually hold that for a few seconds. So but I didn't burn out any ESCs on this or anything like that. I think I might have a little bit of grit in one of these motors, because this makes a different noise to that one. This one's more smoother. But again, it's easy. Just take the 3 screws out of the leg there, and on the inside you've got like a little C-clip. You undo that, and then the whole motor lifts out, like the bell with the prop on it will just lift out, and you just give it a little clean, you know. Just get any little dust particles or whatever out of it, and you're ready to go. But these are strong, really strong. And if you do manage to break one, you can buy all the parts for it, you know, and they're only a few quid. Incidentally, talking about a few quid, I bought this for £51 with the camera. Banggood are having a 33% sale on as doing this video in February of this year. There was only, I think it was only £4 difference in the standard model and the FPV version. I thought, well, what the hell? It's only 4 quid. You know, if the camera's no good, what have I lost? Nothing really. It's just 4 quid. I'll just end up like swapping the cameras over, you know, and or whatever, you know. But so far, the camera seems okay. So, well, the proof's in the pudding, as they say. We'll find out. But yeah, you know, it's only a few quid extra for the camera. So, for the sake of £4, you get a camera with it. And yeah, that's it. You know, can't go wrong for that, can you? 51 quid for an FPV setup. You know, and it's quick. You know, it's not like a toy one. It's like a proper full setup, full FPV setup. So great fun. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. It's just a brief video on the Bugs 3 Mini and the Eachine EX2, and I'll probably do some footage of the FPV and upload it and we'll see what the camera's like, how good it is, and maybe at a later date I might do. I'm not going to do a flight review on it because I've already done one on this, and because they're both the same, there's no point really. So I'll do some FPV footage, and you'll get an idea on the camera. I'll get an idea what it's like, and yeah, you know, even if it's no good, then I'll just put another camera in it. I've got a couple on its way, so. But yeah, great addictive fun. I mean, you can't go wrong. You've got to get one, just even if you want to take it out, you know, one weekend and just have a little rip around. You know, that's what these are for. I've always said these things are made for FPV. They're made for it. They're perfect. You know, better than some of these little tiny whoops that you can fly around. I mean, why bother when you can fly this in the wind and everything? You know, you got the option of acro as well. So, anyway, that's enough rambling from me. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.